University of South Africa, that's UNISA, is preparing to permanently take in over 900 workers. As from next month, contracts of previously outsourced cleaning and security service providers will be terminated. But negotiations certainly were not easy. To tell us more, we're now joined by the advisor to the Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. Somadoda Fikeni. Always good to see you, Dr. Fikeni. Thank you so much for being with us here on the program.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers.
All right, now we're talking 900, over 900. That's a big number. When I know the negotiations have been underway, if I'm not mistaken, this entire year, with a lot of protest action that's been taking place and a lot of dissatisfaction amongst the employees. But how is the university going to afford this?
Well, after 10 months of negotiations, we were guided by the principle of trying to achieve social justice, affordability, as well as financial sustainability and organizational efficiency. We brought in all different stakeholders and unions within the university, knowing that UNISA is quite vast. It has a footprint across the country. That's why it took longer. But the absorption of the 910 employees is kept exactly at the contract value of what was being paid when the services were outsourced. So to that extent, you do have financial sustainability, which will guarantee that these people are not absorbed today only to have a restructuring and release them 2 years, 3 years down the line.
Yeah. Obviously, some of the demands, and over these 10 months, there have been a lot of different to and fro, and I can imagine it's been quite a difficult process to get through. But what the staffers were demanding was, just on the salary front, a minimum of 10,000 Rand a month. Was this able to be met?
Well, not really, but what commitment has been made is that we will pay minimum wage for all employees in terms of the sector determination as well as what is applicable within the university. And these who are being absorbed will be backdated to the 1st of March if they were below the minimum wage. So to that extent, there was an acceptance, and they will have the whole range of other benefits such as the study, assistance by the university, the leave days and so forth, which will now be harmonized with those of the university. So the university will actually be improving a whole lot of their, lives. That is for the workers who are now joining the university as the staff members.
Yeah. Let's talk about the kind of workers. Obviously, just to mention a few, I mean, there would be the cleaning staff, the security personnel. Who is included into these over 900 staff that are now going to be permanent or insourced as opposed to outsourced?
Well, it's the cleaning services, it's the securities, your waste removal staff members who are included in all this. And as such, you will also remember that you had people who were in catering services. Of course, the university will continue to have catering, and the preference to those who are in that sector who were already working for the companies will be considered. And as such, negotiations are still continuing on some of the loose ends of this. But the cleaning, the waste management, the waste removal, and the security are certainly going to be absorbed.
Yeah, obviously it's a long process, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. When we talk about the 1st of December, it's around the corner. How far are you? Do you think you'll make this deadline with all of these staffers to get them onto full time and let the system start working?
The process is underway, mindful of the time and mindful of the fact that things slow down in December. In the first instance, it is the appointment of a service provider that will oversee, and manage these workers as part of the integration process. That appointment of the service provider is underway. And the other one will be to cancel the contracts with different service providers who were having a contract with UNISA in order to take over these employees. So that process is underway as well. We are quite confident that we will meet the deadline, but we've given a leeway to say, should the deadline not be missed, where you do have back payment, where you do have ex gratia payment for the workers who are not going to be absorbed, we'll still honor that.
Yeah. Will the agreement affect employees who are currently employed on a permanent basis in any way, or will they just carry on as usual?
Yes, the employees who are permanently employed will just carry on, and the absorption of the incoming ones still under this particular company for shared services, which will help with the recruitment, with the vetting, with everything else, as we absorb the employees, which will also assess the training or the capacity needs of the employees who are coming in. So that complex process will begin, and the university is quite committed to make sure that these employees will be part of the institution, will be insourced, and will add value as such.
We talk about this as a trend throughout South Africa, and it's been one of the calls that all the universities have been making, and together with the fees must fall, outsourcing must fall. These are some of the trends we've been seeing. UNISA now saying that they are it's going ahead and the process is underway. Not that you're here to talk about the other universities around South Africa, but just in terms of what you are doing, is this something that we're going to see moving to the other universities fast and furiously? I know some have adopted it, but many are still grappling with this issue.
I do think that when there were protests, many other universities rushed into taking positions on the matter. Some are in a process of reviewing those because some decisions were not sustainable at the time. UNISA chose the longer route, yes, painful and frustrating route, of saying, given the size of UNISA, which is a mega university, the largest university in the continent and in the southern hemisphere, we needed to take into account different regions, different conditions, and quite a large number of outsourced services, which are bigger than most universities combined. So to that extent, we were slow, but we were quite certain about what we wanted to achieve. Other universities did get it right, but others had to review their earlier decisions. Yes, indeed, insourcing is a trend. And that in itself, I think it's just like the transformation in the university sector that is being demanded. It's equally something that is a trend of the future that universities cannot afford to ignore.
All right, we will leave it there. Good luck with it. Thank you very much for talking to us here on the program. Dr. Somadoda Fikeni is the advisor to UNISA's Vice Chancellor, talking to us about the fact that UNISA is now preparing to take on over 900 outsourced employees on permanently. And this is after 10 months of different negotiations. I just want to talk about